Good morning, good evening, good night, wherever you are. We've been on the road for a few weeks now, as I'm sure you've been following along on our Instagram. If you've not been following our Instagram stories, I'll put a link down here. But I thought it was about time to give you a tour of our converted off-grid motorhome. First of all, what I want to say is we worked with off-grid campers when we were doing our conversion. So we've designed all the internal layout of where everything goes, but Neville and his team at Off-Grid Campers have done an amazing job by putting this together for us by using over 100-year-old reclaimed pine, which is fantastic. And I think you'll agree with us that the finish that they've managed to get on some of this wood is just amazing. They use an old Japanese technique, I can't quite remember what it's called, but they use an old Japanese technique where they burn the wood first and it brings out a natural preservative, and then what they've done is they've then stained it according to our colours and scheme that we wanted to go with on the van. So yeah, so let's have a tour. Just behind the driver's seat, what we've got is we've got a full floor to ceiling cupboard that's split into two. In the top one we just push to open. We've got these amazing little catches here that just keep it shut so it doesn't fly open when you're driving along. But this then gives us space to hang clothes and put some other bits down there that we need to. But having recently been to a friend's wedding, it's great because we could then put our suit in here and dress and things like that. Well, it wasn't my dress, it's Rebecca's dress. But it allows us to hang things up. Next, below that, what we've got is we've got another little shelf which allows us to store some bits. We tend to keep our soy milks and things like that in there. And below that we've got the water heater, so we do have hot water in the van, which is fantastic. And below that you've got all the ventilation and bits that we need. Next, what I want to do is show you the kitchen area, and what we wanted from a kitchen area is a nice big area so one of us could stand and prepare the food and the other one can cook the food. We love to swap around and take turns in cooking different concoctions and really enjoy cooking together, so we wanted that really nice big space to be able to do that, and that's what we've got here by having this really nice wide countertop as well as our oven just here. So the oven we've got is we were going to get just a 2-ring burner hob, just to try and save space and have extra cupboard space below, but we've managed to get a lot of extra cupboard space in the van from in other areas. So what we decided in the end was we'd go for a full oven. So we've got 3-ring burner hob on the top and then a full oven in here as well. So we've done a couple of pizzas in here, which is it's fantastic. It's just worked really well. And then below that we've got another cupboard which has got the water pump and the Propex heater. So the last couple of months that we've been on the road, it is summer here at the moment at the time of recording this, so we've not had to put on the heating so far, but it's all in there and it works amazingly. Next thing, one of the things we wanted was to retain an element of quirkiness in our van, and we've been looking around our local reclamation yard and we found these amazing Pepsi and Coke crates, and we just loved the colours with the white, the yellows and the reds, and I just thought that with the colour scheme that we were going with, that they just really stood out. So what we did is we spoke to Neville and asked him if there was a way that he could convert these into drawers, and I think, you know, you'll agree with us that he's done an amazing job here, because surprisingly not all of these drawers or these crates are exactly the same size. They all change a little bit, so he's done an amazing job of actually managing to get all these, and they're all soft closing as well. So this is just where we keep a few of our bits, and you'll see there that they just soft close. Next to the drawers, what we've got is we've got a CRX80 fridge. So this is an 80-litre fridge by Dometic, and it provides us with plenty enough storage. We've got a lovely little bit here. We've got amazing space for, you know, cold water, soy milks, and plenty of space in here for our bits that we're keeping refrigerated. And there's also a little freezer bit at the top here where we like to keep our little ice lollies that we've been really enjoying in this heat wave that we're having here in 2019. And so yeah, that's the fridge. And then below the fridge you'll notice there's a couple of air vents, and that's where the hot air can blow in, or also you can set it to cold, so just the fan option. So if it's really warm in the van when you arrive in the van, you can set the fan on and that will bring in the cooler air from outside into the inside and just give it that bit of refreshing feeling. Next I want to show you across the top of the kitchen here, and what we've managed to do is create this splashback from these hand painted Mexican tiles from a shop that we found, and these are all hand painted and imported from Mexico, and we just think that these just finish off the kitchen area here, because as I say, we do like to cook a lot on the road, so we're going to be spending a lot of time in the kitchen here, and this just created such that a nice warm cozy feeling, I think. And they're just, yeah, as I say, hand painted from Mexico. And across the back here, this is where we can potentially put in a window in the future, but we really like that way Neville's put in the shelving on the back here, and what we do is we've got our special teas that we tend to get out once we're stopped and not moving. We'll get our teas out and just use up the shelf space, and that's when I'm not drinking coffee from my Bialetti.
So I'm going to tell you about the van computer. We have, so here's our main power supply unit. This tells us the voltage, the health of the battery. Currently we're on 13.7 because we are on hookup. So switching between hookup and solar is easy. You've got your battery charger here, so here we're charging the batteries from hookup. If I switch it off, we're not going to see any change at the moment because it's daylight and the solar panel's still working, but that's how we charge our battery. We've got our leisure battery, vehicle battery indicator, the water pump, which I'm not going to turn on because it's noisy, and our lights and auxiliary. So we need to keep that on when the fridge is switched on because that's an auxiliary item. Down here, Nev's done a brilliant job. He's created a really neat little section for us using all the different components that we've asked him for. So this is our LPG indicator. This is a carbon monoxide detector. This is really important if you have LPG, if you use a gas cooker in the van, because it tells you whether or not you're getting complete combustion, because carbon monoxide is toxic and you can't see it, you can't smell it, so you need a detector. This, Darren talks a little bit about this. This is our Propex heater. So you've got fan mode, it runs on LPG gas. We found in this hot weather that if you switch it to fan, if you put the thermometer right down to 0, it actually blows out nice cold air, and we didn't realise that they were capable of this, but that's been fantastic in this super hot weather, especially when it rains and it's still hot outside, because you get real humidity, and that's just saved our bacon on a few occasions when we've been sat inside the van in 30-degree heat, just dripping with sweat because it's raining outside. This tells us that the solar panel's working. We're bringing in about 32 volts at the moment because it's a really bright sunny day. This tells us the health of our battery. Little smiley face here. These are all configurable. Nev's configured them for us. At the socket panel, so we've got 3. 2 of them run on hookup and 1 of them runs from our inverter. Our inverter's been invaluable for us because we work a lot from the road and we both use laptops, and if you haven't got hookup then you need an inverter to be able to use your solar energy to charge your laptops. So when we switch on the inverter we can use this just as if we were on hookup, which is brilliant. So we've got these USB ports. We've got absolutely loads of these all the way around the van. You're never more than about an arm's width away from a USB, which is fantastic. Charge your phones, Kindle, various bits and bobs. They've all got 2. They've got a 1 amp and a 2.1 amp. Tend to just use the 2.1s ourselves, but they're there for you. We've got a 12 volt. This is handy for anything that's been designed to be used in a camper or an American RV. So you can use that for your cigarette lighter chargers. So here's our water heater controls. We can run it from gas or electric. That's all you need to know about that really. We're going to show you our shower and our hot water in a minute.
Another thing we decided on our build was that we wanted a full-size sink. So this isn't a normal like marine or van conversion sink that you'll see, like the really tiny sinks. This is a full-size normal kitchen sink, as well as a normal full-size kitchen tap as well, mixer tap. I'm not going to turn this on. Last time I did that in a video I soaked myself with a shower. But this is a normal full-size sink that gives us plenty of room, and it's actually cheaper, believe it or not, than the smaller sinks that you get. This one's actually a Smeg sink. We just got that from a place called Kitchens Direct. But yeah, you can just pick up a normal full-size sink. In here, we've got a couple of shelves where we keep all our pots and pans in there. And what we've got underneath the sink is a very bright and very unused so far, but our porta potty, so that if we are wild camping, we can choose to take a dump in there. And that brings me back onto this side. This is our bed. This is a 5 foot wide and a 6 foot long bed, so it's just above the wheel arches, and this will convert into a U-shaped lounge, which we're going to show you in a moment. But this is a 5 foot by 6 foot bed, and this is how we have it most of the time, because we find that we've been working outside where it's been really warm, and we can generally just then crash in bed at night. There's lots of space, as you can see. It's actually bigger than our bed at home, and we've got shelves on this side and on this side. We've got a window vent here that opens up, and also a skylight above us, so that when we convert it into a lounge, which we're going to do next, you can see what you're actually doing. Okay, and that's the back of the van converted. We worked with Kat from Cat Upholstery on doing our covering of the upholstery here. You'll see we've gone for this really nice turquoise colour with some amazing yellow piping around the edge, and Kat's done a fantastic job on these. We're really pleased with how they've turned out. They've been really comfortable to sleep on. We've been on the road now for nearly 2 months, and these have just been so comfortable to sit on. Converting it into the space here that we've got, where we've got this amazing nice big desk space to work on, has just been fantastic. Right, that's the inside done. Next we're going to show you the ports on the outside, our amazing outdoor shower, and our epic awning. So what we've got here, we've got our Propex ventilation port. Next we've got where we fill up with the water. So just undo that, fill it with a hose pipe if we need to, or however. Next we've got the outdoor electrical hookup point, very conveniently located next to this one. And then next we've got our heated outdoor shower point. And all we do is we attach this to the outdoor shower point, and then we've got an outdoor shower, all heated and ready to rock. So it's good for showering down. You know, you can wash the van if you want to, or you can wash yourself. If you come back and you're a little bit muddy where you've been out on the bike or whatever, you can shower yourself down. It's just a really useful point. So we felt that we didn't need a shower inside the van, but having one outside of the van would be really useful whilst being on the road. As you've seen, we've got a U-shaped lounge, which we can keep as a bed a lot of the time. But when it's a U-shaped lounge, we do have plenty of storage underneath. So we keep things under here. We've got our ramps for when we're levelling the vehicle. We've got all sorts of storage for the barbecue, shoes, and our awning. Thank you very much for joining us. Hope you've enjoyed this van tour. Don't forget to click like and subscribe, and follow along on our journey as we head through Europe.